Hello and welcome to this edition of Garbage Time on UWW-TV. I'm Eli Stickles, and this week I'm joined by Luke Lamore and Nadiri Morgan-Thompson. And our job for the next 30 minutes is to simply talk about sports. So let's begin with the World Series.
Yes, please, let's. Game 3, what a doozy we were in for with that one. 18 innings. If I had a nickel for every time Game 3 of the World Series at Dodger Stadium went 18 innings, I would have 2 nickels, which is not a lot, but it is weird that it happened twice.
Yeah, no, I mean, one of the big things I want to talk about that one is usually in overtime games, right, it's always a really big scoring matchup. But this game, it was only 6-5. It was really a short, not a really big scoring matchup. And that's really surprising because the Blue Jays, the first game of the series, they came out big. They had 11 runs. And since then, their offense hasn't really been able to get out the tracks the same way.
Absolutely. The Blue Jays and Dodgers, what's crazy is that that 18-inning game literally happens one day after the 6-year anniversary of the 2018 World Series Game 3, which also went into 18 innings and was also walked off by the Dodgers. I mean, we're definitely living in a simulation right now.
And if you want to talk about living in a simulation, Shohei Ohtani is in a different plane of existence from us. He's putting up prime Barry Bonds types of numbers, not only going 4 for 4, but then getting walked 5 times, 4 of which intentionally. I mean, reaching base 9 times in the same game has not happened at all, let alone in the fashion of which you go 4 for 4 for the first half and get walked the whole second half. I mean, I don't understand what is happening with him, but he's a completely different type of athlete than we've ever seen before in our lives.
And I mean, Ohtani is crazy. You talk about Barry Bonds. I love Barry Bonds, but we all know he was on the road. Shohei Ohtani is doing this completely naturally,
as far as we're
which
aware.
is insane. And then he's also doing it on the biggest level, right? And went to 18 innings. That's like some crazy, I don't know the equivalent in other sports. It's like double, triple, quadruple overtime, just crazy stats.
Sports just don't even get there.
You know what I mean? And he's doing that on the biggest stage by far in his career, in all of baseball. It's insane.
I mean, what's really crazy is that he's like literally putting up high school numbers. Like if you were the best in high school, you'd be putting up outrageous numbers, basically. You know what else is crazy? Brad Paisley, he performed the national anthem in this game. And he's done this in past World Series games. And every game he performed the national anthem in, those games also went to extra innings. Another way of proving we're in a simulation.
And an extra cherry on top of that simulation, as you call it, is the hero of the day, ultimately, once again, for the second year in a row, ends up being Freddie Freeman with another walk-off home run. It feels like so many circumstances are all colliding at the exact same time. And while I certainly do not believe in the idea of matches being fixed or anything of that sort, if God had a favorite team right now, it's looking like the Los Angeles Dodgers to me.
You guys talk a lot about simulation. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a coincidence, but I really think that these players are really great. You know what I mean? They're performing at their best, and I think, 18 innings, that might be some sleepy baseball to watch, but if you stay up, if you drink that Red Bull, it'll be a great game.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a really tiring journey for both teams. As like they used a lot of their substitutions and everything.
Yep. And we'll see how it plays out. That may favor the Dodgers with how the benches didn't get emptied for them, but we'll see going forward.
100%.
All right, let's talk about the NHL. Luke, start us off with the Blackhawks and the Kings.
My hometown Blackhawks, I thought they were going to come out strong, and Connor Bedard certainly did, getting a goal for himself, but ultimately they fell 3-1 to the Kings. They just had nothing else behind them. Only, I believe, 22 shots on goal. You're not getting super far, and when the Kings scored back-to-back in the second, that was wraps on them. There was absolutely nothing they could do to come back.
And that's a rough one for the Blackhawks for sure, but I want to talk about the Utah Mammoths and the Winnipeg Jets. It's one of the newest rivalries in the NHL, and I think we have to talk about it, right? The Mammoth, they recently came into the league. They're a new expansion team, yet they're still able to be great. Right now they're on a 7-game winning streak, and a big part of that was that they were able to beat the Winnipeg Jets 3-2 in their most recent matchup, right? Dylan Guenther, he had 1 goal, and the Mammoth, they're rolling right now. And, it's crazy for an expansion team to be this good out the gate.
Absolutely. Big Central Division matchup here, Dallas Stars and Nashville Predators. Jonathan Marchessault starts it off for the Predators with the first goal of the game in the first period. Going to the second period, Spencer Stastny, his first goal of the season, makes it 2-0 Nashville. Oscar Beck with his first goal of the season for the Stars. He makes it 2-1. Wyatt Johnston with his 6th goal of the season ties the game. And in the third period, Mikko Rantanen, his 4th goal of the season, makes it 3-2. He's the player of the game. Stars are now 5-3-1, 4th place in the Central Division. Predators are 4-4-2, now 6th place in the Central Division.
You know what I mean? And that's a crazy game for the Stars to come back and have 3 unanswered goals. I mean, when we talk about clutch, we talk about being made for the moment. I think the Stars just prove that they're the better team than the Predators flat out.
Yeah.
Never back down, never what?
Never give
Exactly. You nailed it right there on that one. And I would also add on to your game, if I had a nickel for every time an NHL expansion team comes out and within their first few years starts overperforming, I would also have 2 nickels.
And Luke, you have a lot of nickels there.
I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but it is quite a few.
I mean, Luke, you're getting rich, but it's not going to be as rich. When we talk about the volleyball team, 3 of their past 5 games, they have lost to unranked teams such as UW-Platteville. They got swept by them. They lost back-to-back 5-setters to unranked Stout and Colby College.
Yeah, and I mean, on this show, right, we talk about the volleyball team as the saviors of whitewater sports, right? The football team, they're good to fail you. The basketball team, they won't even give you the hope to fail. The volleyball team, they always seem to show up, right? And right now, they're in a really bad slump, and this is scary, right? We talked about this earlier in the year. The team is a younger team, right? We talked about how they show resilience. They show that they can match up to topper teams, but recently, they've been losing to a bunch of unranked matchups, and I don't know if they're playing down to their competition or what, but we have to fix something there.
I wouldn't raise too many alarm bells just yet. Honestly, in my opinion, the way I see it, they just had a cold weekend. And that's kind of the nature of how volleyball matches are scheduled. You have multiple teams in the same place over one weekend in time, and it's a very short amount of time. If you come out cold in that little period, yeah, it's going to reflect in all the games you play during that time. But anyone can be hot or cold on any given weekend, so I'm not too alarmed yet. The thing that does alarm me, though, is being 2-3 in conference play. And, you know, some people go, well, you're playing all kinds of national teams through most of your schedule. What does it really matter? But it matters in that with only 4 matches left in the regular season, you are not very far away from the WIAC tournament against all of these conference teams that you've been struggling with all season. So if this young core is going to be able to prove itself with its resiliency, they're going to have to beat people that they were losing to and struggling against this season.
You know what I mean? But if there's anybody I trust, it's definitely our Warhawk volleyball team. They're the darlings of Whitewater, and they show resilience. They show that they can fight. I like them over any team because it's not just the players, it's the coaching staff. Our team is wonderfully coached. They come out on top, and these losses over the weekend were all 5-setters. They were back and forth. They won one, they lost one. They won one, they lost one. They lost, you know, it's really close, and I think that you make a couple of tweaks, you can really, you know, cause some motion.
What's really unfortunate is that this cold week, it caused the Warhawks to go from number 4 in the nation all the way to number 20 in the nation in D3. So they really need to prepare themselves for Wednesday's game against number 3 UW Oshkosh.
You know, I have no doubt that the Warhawks are going to come with a chip on their shoulder and, you know, definitely make a big statement against Oshkosh this Wednesday.
I'm hoping for that as well, and I expect one way or another it's going to be super close, but I think those rankings can only do so much with the statistics they're given, and statistically, yeah, you can see how that slip may affect it, but overall, we know the nature of the team, we know the heart of the team, we know the experience of the team and their leadership, and I absolutely think any and all of those factors are able to come out at a moment's notice, so I would not count too much into the whole ranking numbers in this matchup.
You know, I agree with Luke actually wholeheartedly. I think the ranking thing, yeah, they took 3 very rough L's. They took 3 rough losses, but dropping 16 spots seems kind of unbelievable to me, and I would still say that they're one of the best in the nation.
Absolutely. I mean, like, literally, you could be number 1 in the nation and then lose to an unranked team. Like, at this rate, rankings don't really mean much. So literally, it's a matter of fact of, as I said before, I'll say it again, never back down, never what?
Never give up.
Exactly right.
All right, we're going to take a short break, and when we return, we're going to be talking about our remaining sports garbage. Right after this, stay tuned.
You can see it. His potential, that is. You see it even when he may not. You see that the things that spark his interest today will in time ignite the things he pursues tomorrow. And ultimately, help him reach new heights. All he needs now is a way to make it happen. We are the universities of Wisconsin. 13 universities, unlimited opportunity.
Have you heard of UROC?
We're part of Whitewater and our own thing.
Come on, we'll show you.
I learned how to be a college student here, and now I'm headed off to Madison to study global health, and I know I'm ready.
People like me who aren't a fan of big crowds would really like UROC because it's welcoming and it's laid back.
My advisor helped me figure out my schedule, organize my time, fill out my FAFSA, and figure out what classes I liked and how to turn that into a major. And if I had to do it again, I would choose UROC.
You ready to rock?
You belong here.
Sports fans, we cheer on our favorite teams at fields, gyms, arenas, and stadiums. But have you ever wondered what it's like to be a referee? Verbal abuse from fans, parents, and coaches is the #1 reason why many referees are walking away. And they're not being replaced quickly enough by new ones. So put yourself in the official shoes, act with respect, and be officially human.
Welcome back to Garbage Time on UWW-TV. Let's continue with more sports. Next, we'll be talking about Warhawk football. Do the Warhawk strut. Wait a minute, I can't sing that song.
don't do
No,
that.
But
I
anyway.
do really want to talk about Warhawk football though,
Yes.
because I tend to talk bad about a certain player on the team every week. And
I
though
do
we
recall.
won, he still played terrible. Justin Klinkner, 3 interceptions. Oh my God, what are you doing? Like, we're winning these games, we're winning. Like, how far can you go if your quarterback is throwing 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions? He had the most mediocre game possible, and at some point it's going to hurt the team, but it didn't hurt us this week. Brian Strandon, he got a good touchdown, and our defense looked phenomenal again. Our defense is one of the best in the country. 2 sacks and 3 interceptions. I mean, we're looking great week after week, but our quarterback is looking terrible week
Yeah,
after
I
week.
mean,
don't know.
Stanton is a stud. You're absolutely right on that. I mean, let's not overlook what's in front of us here. 29-19 over Platteville, and to get the little pickaxe as well. I mean, more bragging rights to add on top of the insult to add on top of the injury, really. I mean, you are right in that the pass game was not as effective as it could or maybe even should have been, but definitely a win worth celebrating. Win is a win, and it was a big one.
Yeah, I mean, it was homecoming weekend.
Yes.
I'll say it. After the game, you know, the win definitely helped homecoming
Yeah.
be way fun.
Of course.
It was a lot of fun at the tailgate. Was phenomenal before the game. It was phenomenal during the game. And after he won, it was even better. So, you know, shout out to Justin Klinkner in the way that he didn't absolutely ruin my homecoming weekend. But
Good enough.
I think that he has a chance to ruin my upcoming weekends if we make the playoff or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, despite the weather, 9,748 fans showed up to this game. It was definitely a fun one. To add insult to injury to Platteville, not only did they lose this game, but they have not beat Whitewater at Perkins Stadium in 24 years. Last time they beat Perkins Stadium was October 13th, 2001.
I mean, last time they beat them, I don't think any of us were here.
Yeah, no, we
They
didn't.
were all still
we
swimming
were,
around in our pants.
Yeah, we weren't even alive.
No, but this Warhawk team will have another test coming up, and possibly the biggest one yet with River Falls coming up soon. 8-rank, 9-rank, 6-1 teams. This is a huge game.
Yeah, this is one of those games, right? We talk about River Falls. They have a phenomenal quarterback, Caleb Blaha,
All-American.
All-American quarterback, and we have Justin Klinkner, right? Who do you
Okay.
think is going to win? If the game's on the line, you need somebody to
you have
pass it
defense,
deep.
so.
You have somebody. You know, if you have a phenomenal talent at quarterback, defense can only do so much. Right? Let's be
understand.
honest. If you have a game-changing quarterback, the defense can kind of change the game, kind of try to even it out. But at the end of the day, you know, football is a quarterback sport. It's a team sport, but when you need a big win, 9 out of 10 times your quarterback puts the team on the back and they do what they need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, literally, you could have an All-American quarterback. What can your defense do against Whitewater? And especially, what about your running game? Is your running game as good as ours?
I mean, the defense doesn't have to do too much. They just have to intercept the ball from Klinkner. And I feel like just about every good defense in the WIAC has done that multiple times. So
We'll see, and we'll see if it ends up being the type of interceptions that really hurt you. Either way, that'll be a big matchup, and I'm very excited to see what happens with it.
Speaking of football, let's go to the professional level of the NFL. So, Nadiri, the Jets won.
They what?
I mean, I think this game really meant a lot for the Jets because it was a tribute, right? One of their former players passed away recently before Sunday, and I think that meant a lot for the team. And I think we talk about Justin Fields. He said he was in the closet crying, but I think he was in the closet praying, and I think God answered. They had a phenomenal game. Justin Fields doesn't necessarily play phenomenal, but Breece Hall had a legacy game.
Oh, yeah.
2 rushing touchdowns, a passing touchdown. He had like 100-something yards. He just looked phenomenal, and I don't know if he was looking great because the Bengals play terrible defense or if he's just genuinely a phenomenal back.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to play for the Jets, I would be crying in my closet too. I don't blame him on that,
Yeah,
but
100%.
I do blame him for being on the Bears. So either way, I am very, very shocked that the Jets actually managed to pull it off. And
100%.
for once, we will not mention them at the garbage game of next week, and that's because they're not playing next week, but that's unrelated. However, there was another really big game between the Steelers and Packers, and it was a battle of former Packer QBs. Aaron Rodgers going up against his former team, now helmed by Jordan Love, and it honestly looked like it could have gone the Steelers' way, and it looked like it was gonna. But 21 points in the fourth by the Packers, and they swipe it away from them.
Yeah, I mean, the Steelers know how to lose a game. That defense, the most expensive in the league, but also the most scrubby in the league. They suck.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, this is the definition of former versus current. We had Unk versus Young.
Unk versus nephew.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way of putting it for sure. And I made the mistake of starting the Pittsburgh defense for my fantasy team. My bad.
That's a rough one for sure.
Ouch. Definitely not as highly anticipated as this high-scoring affair between the Broncos and the Cowboys. Broncos went crazy in terms of the scoring. They were leading 14-3 in the first quarter. They never looked back. They'd go on to win this game 44-24. Bo Nix went 19 for 29 with 4 touchdowns. Troy Franklin, he had 2 touchdowns on 6 receptions. We can't talk about the Broncos without mentioning Quinn Miners, UWW alumni that went from D3 to the NFL. What a journey.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely had a crazy journey, but I want to talk about the Broncos a little bit more. They just looked phenomenal that game.
Yeah.
I was playing my uncle in fantasy football, and he had KJ Harvey. I thought I was going to lose, but I had Rasheed Rice on Monday, so I won.
Okay.
That was a close one. But I kind of want to talk about the Cowboys even a little bit more. Dak Prescott has looked like the best quarterback in the league for the first few games of the year, and he looked absolutely terrible against the Broncos defense. I mean, they kind of put him in a body bag in a way that we have not seen so far from us this season, from Dak, excuse me. And I'm wondering, how does he bounce back? Is the Broncos defense that legit, or was it kind of like an 8-game wonder?
I don't really know, but either way, I think, remind me, was that one in Denver?
That was in Denver.
That doesn't surprise me. It's one of those elevation things. You can see it in any outdoor sport that happens out there. It completely changes everything around how the game is played. And it's one of the few environmental factors that even in a fixed field, like most sports tend to have, can still be a massive impact on the game. It's sort of almost like a permanent weather condition. So high-scoring affairs happen all the time. It's really hard to play defense when you don't have that much oxygen reaching your lungs. So a high-scoring affair with the Broncos, Fork Fountain Kitchen, but that was a very interesting game to watch.
And definitely a high-altitude game, a high-scoring game,
Yep.
and I think all the right teams came out on top this weekend.
I think that's a fair way to put it. I mean, I don't know if I would ever consider the Jets the right team for just about anything, but I will, once again, I'll give it up. They actually won a game, and we cannot rag on them this week.
It was a tribute game they had to win.
Yeah, you have to.
You had the Miracle Mets. Now what about the Miracle Jets?
Wow.
All right, so how about a good NFL game coming up? Nadiri, start us off with the Chiefs and the Bills.
I think this is the most obvious game of the week ever, and quite frankly speaking, I don't know why they're not on Sunday Night Football, right?
Right.
They have the Seahawks and the Commanders. We don't want to watch Sam Darnold and Jane Daniels. The Commanders have been terrible, the Seahawks to the Seahawks. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that too much. Chiefs and the Bills, I'm really excited for this matchup, right? We have the Chiefs who started on a slow start. They had a slow start to the season, but they're getting back in their groove. They have Rashee Rice back, and they're looking phenomenal. The Bills have also looked very good this year, but the Bills kind of have the same problems that they always have. Who is Josh Allen's number one receiver? Right now it's Khalil Shakur. How far can you go when Khalil Shakur is your number one receiver? I don't really think you can go that far. I think you go a lot farther with Rashee Rice. But I'm really excited to see this game because I'm excited to see how the new look Bills defense is going to come out, right? The Bills, they have Joey Bosa. They bolstered their team in a lot of ways, and I'm really excited. Their receiving core has never been a problem against the Chiefs in the past, and I don't think that it'll become one today, or this weekend, excuse me. But I think the Chiefs' magic, right? It's Halloween. The Chiefs have a special kind of magic. I don't want to talk about it on the show, but they have a special magic, the Ouija board magic, and I think they're going to stay strong and pick up the win this Sunday.
You might obviously have the game of the week, but what about the biggest doozy of the week? Vikings and Lions.
Oh, yeah.
The Vikings, they come into this game with, keep forgetting his name, but he's out for the season. J.J. McCarthy, he could be back in the lineup, so it would be up to him to carry this Viking squad against this very tough Lions squad. Last year, the Lions swept the Vikings. They beat them 31-29 and then 31-9. So this is going to be a huge revenge game for the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest. J.J. McCarthy's not getting any revenge. J.J. McCarthy sucks. He's dirt. I don't know. There's not too much to say about him. He knows he's not good.
I mean, maybe you're right, maybe you're not, I don't know. But I will talk about the game of the week, as you guys have put it this week, with Seahawks Commanders, and I think you may be right. Might not be amazing. 5-2 Seahawks going up against the 3-5 Commanders, and I'm really not entirely sure. But you remember a conversation we had about a week or so ago when we said that the betting sites might not always be favoring the best outcomes? Mm-hmm. You want to guess what the betting sites are predicting is the winner of that matchup?
I'm assuming the Commanders.
Somehow, some way.
The Commanders last year had the most obvious fake Cinderella run ever. And somehow, some way, Commanders fans thought they were going to be good. They thought they were a legitimate team. And this year, they got brought back down to reality. Jen Daniels hasn't necessarily been the most healthy, and he's having a normal sophomore slump. They tried to bolster their team in the offseason, but Deebo Samuel is looking like Deebo Samuel. Not very special, not in 2025. Terry McLaurin, he got paid, and he forgot how to play football, literally. He stays in that tent, and I think their team has just had the same struggles that you could see all of last year. When they played the Eagles in the championship and they got exposed, they got dominated, they got tickled in their no-no square.
Are we allowed to say that? I don't even know, but I mean, that's, I guess, an apt way of putting it. Let's say it that way. And I'm sure that something of a similar caliber may end up happening this week with them against the Seahawks. And I don't know how it's going to go for sure, but I don't think I'm putting my money on the Commanders.
No.
I mean, it finally came back into my mind at a very irrelevant time. Carson Wentz, that's the quarterback that's out for the season. I mean, he got really beat up when he played against the Chargers, man. I felt real bad for him. He was playing through an injury, and that one time he was brought down, I could just see the pain in his face. Man.
You know, as an Eagles fan, Carson Wentz being hurt always hurts me because he was so good. Then his ACL gave out, and he was never the same.
Some people just aren't.
He rushed back from the ACL injury. He rushed back from the back injury, and since then he's kind of been a career backup. Him having a shoulder injury is rough, but I think the real reason why they did that, the Vikings don't want their undrafted free agents to outplay JJ.
So in honor of Halloween this week, and this is our spooky special, what is one football play that still haunts you to this day?
Man, that double doink. It bounced. It hit the one, it hit the other. It didn't go in, man. And I think the worst part of that as a Bears fan, not only the actual result, not only that they iced him right before the kick just to make sure he added extra pressure, is the fact that he was building up that moment the entire season. Cody Parkey could not hit field goals consistently the whole time. And right when it seemed like he might have been starting to figure it out, you finally reached the one point where it matters. And of course it's going to happen. It's like you knew in your heart, in your mind, in your soul it was going to happen, and it still hurts.
You know, that was definitely one. But I want to talk about one. I'm going to switch sports. The play that made me cry, quite literally, LeBron blocking Steph Curry at the rim. But I'm actually giving a 2 for 1. Another play that made me cry,
Yeah.
that haunts me to this day, Cam Newton not jumping on that fumble. That play, I was in the living room in tears. I had to, my parents had to carry me out. I was really messed up about that. I was a phenomenal Cam Newton fan, a big Cam Newton fan, super Cam till the day I die. I'm still Cam Newton gang, but that play will haunt me for the rest of my life.
I mean, I have one play that made me cry, and then there was one play that made me actually crash out. Starting with the play that made me crash out, that blocked field goal by the Packers against the Bears. Another kicking story. Oh, man. I thought we had it. We were there. We were about to beat the Packers for the first time in forever, and guess what? It's blocked!
It's blocked.
Oh, my gosh. How about the one play that made me cry? It wasn't the Bears that were playing. This was the Super Bowl. A huge comeback by Tom Brady. And, of course, they score. Falcons choke. Down they go.
I would hate to be in Atlanta for that, man.
You know, that's definitely a rough one. But I think on the bright side of the Bears getting their kick blocked is Caleb Williams is undefeated in Lambeau Field, right?
Man.
That is the pro. Caleb Williams
true.
is Jordan Love's dad, and I think that we need to start pushing that agenda.
Absolutely. Because this is called garbage time, what is something that you want to vent about? What is the one thing that absolutely just bothers you?
I have something. Mark Wegner, home plate umpire of that World Series Game 3. Hawk Harrelson was constantly on that man, and for good reason. We constantly find out time and time again why he's not good at being a major league umpire. It was a crucial moment with a runner on a full count. The pitch comes, and he does nothing. He does nothing for solid seconds, is what it feels like. And then he actually makes the strikeout motion to signify that it was an out, in fact, and not a walk, meaning that that runner that was already going to second base, because he assumed it was a walk, why wouldn't it have been a walk? He said nothing for so long, is now getting thrown out on the base paths. What are we doing here? This is the World Series, come on.
You know, I think one of the worst things about sports is when the referees, the officials, the umpires decide games, and I think that we should investigate him, you know what I mean?
Man.
NBA's getting investigated for betting, MLB next.
Thanks, team, but we're out of time. Stay tuned to UWW-TV for more Garbage Time next week. This has been Garbage Time on UWW-TV.